Hey folks, it's a man once again. Like I said in my last video of Survivor Series 1987, I wanted to do a few videos in here as well in my room instead of my DVD room. And this one being on the very first Royal Rumble of 1988. And the commentary, first off, is the first pay-per-view, at least of the stuff I've been watching, that did not have Gorilla Monsoon. Instead, it was Jesse Ventura and Vince McMahon. And like I said on my review of Survivor Series 1987, I really enjoy the team of Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura. I mean, the first WrestleMania against some Lindo is kind of weird for Gorilla Monsoon, but I really warmed up to him by the second WrestleMania. And, well, the second one, there was a bit of cluster, but definitely by the Wrestling Classic and WrestleMania 3. And I've been watching quite a few other pay-per-views, and I really enjoy the Gorilla Monsoon Jesse Ventura team. So the fact you don't have Monsoon there and you got Vince McMahon instead, Vince McMahon sucks. Vince McMahon sucks on commentary. Jesse Ventura does the best that he can, and I like him. But Vince McMahon, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. What a maneuver! Like, he doesn't know any of the fucking wrestling moves. And he just doesn't know jack shit. But the Royal Rumble, I love the idea of the Royal Rumble. I mean, you have 20 or 30 guys, and it starts with 2 people, and every 2 minutes another person comes in. And the reason I always enjoy Royal Rumble is that you get a bunch of people on screen, and then each time you watch it, oh, I'll pit this guy and watch what he's doing. No, now I'll pit this guy and watch what he's doing. So it has a definite rewatchability for me. Like, anytime I see it, I'm like, oh, I'll pit this guy. What's he doing? And what's this guy doing? That's a lot of fun. But the first match, you have Rick Rude versus Ricky Steamboat. To be honest, I like these guys. I mean, I love Ravishing Rick Rude as a villain. Listen to all you sweat hogs. Keep your trap shut while I take off my robe and show your ladies what a real man looks like. He was a great bad guy. And then I've said many times how much I like Ricky Steamboat. But this match, I mean, these are really two good wrestlers. But this match, man, it was okay, but it was a little bit disappointing. I mean, you got some chops and arm drags, rude punches, knee to the back on Rude, body slam suplexes. I think the thing that hampered this for me is that Ricky Steamboat would seem like forever work on the arm, working on the arm. And then when it got to Rude, he would forever work on the chin, get on top of Steamboat, work on the chin like this. And I understand that's part of wrestling, but it's just that these guys could do a lot. And I don't hate the match. I thought it was an okay match. Because again, you got some fun stuff, like Steamboat getting up, and I think it's called an electric chair. When the guy's on top of you doing that, you grab him, and then you do like this, boom. I think that's called the electric chair. Could be wrong, and I enjoyed that. Other giving a time a drop. Steamboat giving a reverse suplex, crossbody, but then Rude through the referee in front of him. So Rude lost for disqualification because he threw the referee in front of him. It's just that there's certain points in the match that slowed down too much that kind of killed the momentum for me. But I think these two, the way they could work a very quick match. I don't think you needed the working the arm forever from Steamboat and then the working the chin forever from Rude. I think that was a mistake. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was an okay match. But if you took those two things out, it would have been a much better match, at least for me. But I like these two guys, so that helped it as well. So I thought it was okay for an opening match. Could have been better. Then something that killed it for me is you have this stupid thing with Jesse Ventura and this fucking guy, Dino Bravo. in which Dino Bravo is going for the world record for bench pressing. And as Jesse Ventura putting weights on him and putting more and more weights, this whole thing took like 17 fucking minutes. 17 fucking minutes for this segment. From beginning to end. First off, who the fuck cares about Dino Bravo? Is there a Dino Bravo fan? Was there ever, even though he's a villain? Rick Rude is a villain, and I liked him as a villain. Did anyone ever give a shit about Dino Bravo one way or another? Does anyone look back and go, yeah, Dino Bravo? And then the bench pressing does nothing to do with fucking wrestling. It's like Vince McMahon's hard on for bodybuilding, for fucking jerk off fantasies later. For Dino Bravo to bench press, who gives a fuck? The crowd didn't give a fuck either, and it was dead. It was 17 fucking minutes, and it kills any momentum you could have had from anything. That was definitely the worst part of the show for me. And 17 fucking minutes of this bench press bullshit. It was fucking stupid. Then the next match, you have the Jumping Bomb Angels, who they were the only good thing in the Women's Survivor Series match of '87 that I talked about before. They had a 2 out of 3 falls with the Glamour Girls. And I like this match because, again, the Jumping Bomb Angels are 2 women from Japan who knew how to wrestle. And they were in Survivor Series '87. They were here for the Royal Rumble '88. And I don't know what happened. I think they had one more match, and then they lost to these girls. But this one they won. And they do a lot of cool stuff. Like, they both do a figure 4 on the Glamour Girls. They both do a double drop kick. And, again, the Jumping Bomb Angels, like I said in the Survivor Series '87, they were really good female wrestlers. Especially when you compare it to the others. And they won this match, the 2 out of 3 falls, but I think they had one more match with the Glamour Girls, which they lost, and then you never saw them again. I think the other one was like on a, I don't know where it wasn't on a pay-per-view, but I don't know what happened to them. Whether they don't do a lot with these. But I guess, if I think about it, they didn't really do much with the women's wrestling from here on, I don't think. At least from what I remember. So maybe that's why, I don't know. But, of course, by this point, the $1 Million Man was there. We saw a 7 from him in Survivor Series '87. Like I said, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase is a great villain. And he wanted to buy the championship belt, and then you have a 7 where Hogan had said, "Hell no!" And that just brought up because the $1 Million Man has Andre working for him now, and Andre and Hogan in Royal Rumble '88 signed a rematch clause. And that would later be the match on, I believe, Saturday night's main event, where the referee counted even though Hogan had his arm up. And oh my god, there's a twin referee. And oh my god, did the $1 Million Man pay a guy to surgically alter his face to look like the referee Earl Hebner? And if you look that up, it's pretty funny. But that's sometimes what you get back in the day. But that was pretty funny. But this is the rematch. They signed that to get to that one. Let's see. And then pretty much the only other stuff is the Royal Rumble match. And I don't know why this match ended the card. The Islanders, which Haku is a part of, versus the Young Stallions. 2 out of 3 falls match. Which I didn't give a fuck either way. So, granted, It's not the next one, it's the last one, but I'll just talk about it now. The last match, Islanders versus Young Stallions, there was no reason to end it on that. Because who don't give a fuck about the Young Stallions. The Islanders won the 2 out of 3 falls match. And those two tag teams, nothing went with them. Nothing came about them. And this is the don't give a fuck pile. There's a pile of don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the Islanders versus the Young Stallions. I got nothing to say about it. It was boring, and I didn't give a rat's ass about either teams. So let's talk about the Royal Rumble before it. Honestly, that should have ended it. It should have been Islanders versus Young Stallions should not have been the end of it. The end of it should have been the Royal Rumble, because that was the best part of this thing. And the first two are the Hitman, Bret Hart, and Tito Santana. And it was a fun Royal Rumble. When Jake the Snake Roberts got in, people were going crazy for Jake. They kept shouting DDT, DDT, DDT. One mistake I think they did was, first off, not letting Jake do a DDT on somebody, because the crowd was begging for it. The crowd was wanting it. The crowd was screaming for a DDT. And make the crowd go home happy. Let him do a DDT on somebody. It wouldn't hurt them. Well, I mean, meaning you have to put him over the rope. If he does a DDT on somebody, lay him out for a little while, okay, then they get back up in a few minutes and then continue. But you give the crowd what they want. You give them a DDT. And I'll be honest, I think Jake the Snake Roberts should have won this. Because he didn't really get to win much of anything, meaning there's no championship, no Royal Rumble. Instead, they gave it to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan, I don't mind. But I don't understand why you would not let Jake the Snake Roberts win it. Like, if you're not going to give him a championship, and you're not going to give him anything else, and he's so big with the crowd, imagine how huge the crowd would be if Jake the Snake did a DDT on somebody, or maybe at the end he does a DDT, picks the guy up, throws him. Yeah! I mean, that would have been amazing. That would have been insane. Or have him do 2 DDTs. DDT earlier in the match, and then DDT. Like, oh my god, Jake's going to get thrown out. Oh, he went, oh, he gave him a DDT, and then he picks up and throws him out. Jake the Snake wins. I mean, he was definitely the guy they were wanting the most to win. And I don't think that would have been predictable. It would have been satisfying. So, I mean, I like the Royal Rumble match, but for me, that's how it should have ended. Is that they were screaming for a DDT. He gives them the DDT once. You think that you'll never see it again. And then you think, oh, Jason's going to, oh, shit. He does the thing and he does DDT. Oh, shit. He throws them out. Yeah. But that's not how it happened. But Jake the Snake hung in there for a while, and he had some fun stuff. But he was definitely the guy the crowd was into the most. But yeah, the 2 mistakes for me is you should have let him do a DDT. I will let him do 2 DDTs. And he should have won. Not Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Because Hacksaw Jim Duggan won and then didn't do anything with them. I mean, the only thing I could think of is, I believe Junkyard Dog was the last entry in. And yeah, he was not in Survivor Series 87, which was weird. He wasn't on a team, and he wasn't anywhere in Survivor Series 87. And I think he would not be in too many. I think SummerSlam 88, he would be in it. Jed versus Rick Rude. But really, at the end, it wasn't about him. It was about, Jake the Snake coming in to fight Rick Rude, because Rick Rude had these pants that had Jake the Snake's wife on them. And it was more about that than JYD. JYD was there really to be nothing, but I guess this is when JYD was sort of putting him down and down more and more. One weird thing looking back is the Ultimate Warrior came out at number 18. He was only in there for 4 minutes. He took nobody out. Like, he threw nobody out. And then he got thrown out, and there was no thought about it. Oh, he's out. Okay, but it's weird looking back. It's like, wow. Like, the Ultimate Warrior came in, didn't throw anybody out, didn't really do anything, got thrown out in 4 minutes, and then it's like, oh, okay. So that was kind of weird. Especially considering the next pay-per-view. Well, maybe not the next pay-per-view. The next one is WrestleMania 4. SummerSlam is what I'm talking about. But I guess by this point they didn't know how big Ultimate Warrior was at that point, that he would become. But yeah, Hacksaw Jim Duggan won. And, you know, I don't mind Hacksaw. Again, I'm not saying I hate the guy. It's just if I had a preference, I would have had Jake the Snake Roberts win. That's just my preference. I think that would have made an even more memorable Royal Rumble, looking back on it. But overall, I liked the Royal Rumble. I mean, the first match was okay. The Jumping Bomb Angels made the women's match watchable. The Royal Rumble is a fun thing to watch. But problems, the 17 minutes of fucking Dino Bravo's bench press bullshit. And the Islanders versus the Young Stallions, didn't care 1 cent, 1 iota about that match. And again, I like the Royal Rumble match. I just would have preferred if Jake the Snake won it. But, you know, Hacksaw Jim Duggan won it. And that's cool. That's something that, because he didn't have anything either. That's probably much the only thing he could say, hey, I won the first Royal Rumble. But, like, that's more than Jake can say. And it sucks because Jake the Snake is one of my favorites. But as someone would say, he didn't need a belt because people already knew how good he was. But it would have been nice. But anyway, just some thoughts I had on the very first Royal Rumble, 1988. Thanks for watching. Take care. And the next one will be WrestleMania 4, which I actually did record already in another room. Because I was doing sort of a marathon of WrestleMania that I was watching and recording at the same time. And yeah, I'm sort of stockpiling these reviews for a rainy day or rainy week or whatever. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.